All righty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening somewhere. This is Doc from here. I guess I'm repeating myself. My name must be Doc Biden. And am I really here? That's the question. How about that story, huh? I mean, the world has seen now that the Department of Justice, Mr. Biden's own attorneys now say that he did wrong things, but he's not competent enough to basically take the stand because he's just an old man with no memory. Woo! Talk about crazy. Anyhow, that's probably the biggest story of them all. After that, all the little stories. Mr. Trump saying, pay your bills. I like that. We always feel that way over here. It's like, pay your bills. Don't tell us how great socialism is, and then you don't defend yourselves. And you expect us to defend you. That type of thing. We've always been frustrated over here about that. It's like, it'd be one thing if you're all capitalists and you're raving about the great, capitalist system, but you are under strain financially. We can understand that, but we can't understand when you're in the socialist system and then you're whining about somebody else pay your bills. We don't like that. That's definitely something that freaks out the American public. So anyhow, that's been the two major, I would say, major stories. And then after that is the markets don't know how to go anywhere but up because they know that when Mr. Trump gets in, the stock markets is probably going to double or triple. So they're figuring, why not just buy it now? Why wait for the noise in the more expensive market? So that seems to be the last one. I even heard somebody on one of the European broadcasts this morning say, about Trump got elected in 2016 and about 2 hours went by and the next thing you know, the stock market is up 1,000 points on the Dow. It's just like, and we don't expect anything different this time. That's what he said. And that's pretty much the way you can see it here. And you can see there's the dollar index. They really have a hard time pushing the dollar down, because of the interest rates. It's got nothing to do with the growth at this point in the States. It's all got to do with interest rates because, it's pretty clear that financial markets are very short-sighted. They're worried about tomorrow and today. They're not really worried about next week in many ways when it comes to the currency pairs trades and so forth. It's only in the stock market, which is a very small market, very, very small market compared to the bond market, and then the second largest market in the world is the currency market, and then the third largest market in the world is the energy market, and then the fourth one is the metals market, and then the stock market comes in basically last. Matter of fact, it's so unique in many ways that people think that the stock market is more powerful than what it is. Is that, do you know that one stock in the United States is the same size as the whole Chinese market, the whole Chinese stock market? One stock. And I wonder if anybody can guess which one that is. We're going to throw that up on the screen. I haven't even started looking at the chat line. Let's see where the chat line is after 4 minutes of talking. But can anybody guess what stock is bigger than the whole Chinese market? I think that's a fascinating stat in its own right, honestly. That blows my mind. When I heard it last week, I was like, you're kidding me. Wow, that's definitely exciting, and it's not Microsoft. Microsoft obviously is bigger. It's Nevada, the chips company. The size of Nevada and the size of the Chinese stock market of all their stocks combined together is smaller. Can you imagine that? So it's. People think the stock markets are, an enormous vessel, I guess you could say, on the planet. But with quantitative easing and the central banks now are daily traders when it comes to bonds and stocks and so forth. They're involved in the markets. The the market itself is nowhere near what people think it is. So, anyhow, that is where we are. So when we look at the pairs trade, what really moves when we look at the dollar index, and we're staring at it every day to start off with there, that is why we see that type of action. Is that the money moves through the currencies and through the bonds for every little teeny tick. I mean, when you're talking about the size, the bond market is just enormous, just incredibly enormous compared to the stock market. The bond market is I don't know, 1,000 times bigger. It's that big. It's like 1,000 times bigger. It's incredible. I mean, we can trade $5 or $6 worth of stock in a day, and the bond market can do 80, 90 billion in a day, and then the next day go out and do another like $120 billion. It's an enormously more volume wise, equity wise. So, and then I saw that stat that came out though. And I actually saved the story, but I unless anybody actually asked for it, I'm not going to put it up on the screen. But yeah, Nevada is bigger than all of the Chinese stock market put together. Talk about freaky, huh? I find it to be totally freaky. So now let's go over to what else can we talk about before we get too deeply involved. And also, remember nowadays, guys and gals, traders. What we're doing is we're watching. Not only do we watch dailies and weeklies now, we're looking at intraday. We're going with that intraday because we're trying to satisfy or cater to or make it easier for other people to get a little bit flavor of trading. We don't know if you're trading with $200 or $200,000, and so when you're only trading with $200. You only have two choices. One is trading the derivative options, and two, trading intraday, short term, with the currencies and so forth. Because you can't really handle dealing with a margin call. You'll get squeezed out and you'll lose your money. So you got to have the stops in there and trade smart, that type of thing. So we try to cater now to both sides of that. So we look at the dailies, we look at the weeklies, and we look at the intradays. So let's get that intraday up on the screen. And there it is, Dookie intraday. We're opening that up. And let's go over to, we'll go to the first one. Let's go check out the euro and see what the euro is doing intraday. And then we'll go take a look at it on a daily basis and a weekly basis and so forth. And we can do it in both directions even. It's not too tough for us to do anything here. So what we have there is the euro against the dollar. And as you can see on a daily basis, it's trying to lift up. You see that strength there. You see the fast stochastic trading at, what price tag is that? Is that 56, basically 56.7 or 0.8, either way you want to look at it. And you can see the slow stochastic here on the yellow line on J4X. It's a dashed line there. Is it at 42.9? So the pressure is on because we have green hinky-ashkies going on, and we got the fast stochastic going over the slow. That's a daily. And then we can always take a quick peek at the weekly. And there's the weekly there. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch platforms and show you what our platform shows us here. Where are you at? There it is. There's the intraday. So let's put the intraday in there, like so. There it is. And let's put the. Let's see. Oh, here it comes. And there it is, right there. There we are. You can see here, this is that big top we've been talking about, or I'm not even sure if it's a top. It's more like a consolidation. You see there like that. Keeps on finding ways to drift through it, doesn't it? Like that right there. You see we've been pushing up. We're in a daily buy for 2 days here. And now today, out of nowhere, came sneaking up. You see it says right over here, minus 0.00021, and you can see the line, it's below the line. That's what it's telling us there. It's not plus, it's minus. So it's trying to break down. We're in that weekly sell. So there's like 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, starting in the 5th week in a sell. And then we go back to the J4X. We go back to the J4X. There we are. And you see that same thing. It's pressing down. There's 3 right there, red hinkies. There's 6. And at the same time, you can see it's pushing into that sell. The fast was at, where was the fast at that? That was at 72.9. And that was on the 1st. And the slow was at 70, so it was still in the buy. And what we needed is we needed the slow here, to be higher. You see it there. It's at 70.14 on the 8th. And then we go up here on the 8th. And you see it's dropped below it. So that's when it finally gets into the sell. And there's the 15. So it goes into the sell there and starts breaking down. So there's that weekly. Now let's go show you the magic. Let's show you the magic. Let's see, where is it at? Where are you, magic? And there's the intraday. And right there. And right, no, that's not it. Right there, there it is, right there. And that is the intraday euro. And you can see, went into a buy here. We can say it went into a sell here, and it went down. Then finally it gets into the buy there, and it goes up. And you can see it breaks down again somewhere around, there you go, gets into the sell right there. And goes down just for a couple bars. And then finally joins into the buy somewhere around in here. That one right there. And you can see it goes up in value. And this is the same math. And we always say that if you use, you got to use the same math for all of it. Intraday, daily, weekly, monthly, everything. So you see here, it presses into that sell. Right? Let's see, was it in the sell? It went into a sell here for this slide. Then it goes into a buy right there, and it goes sideways up for a little bit. And finally, right there, it goes into the sell. And then you can see a couple bars later, it's down and down and down. And it tries to go back into a buy here and pretty much fails at it. And it goes right back into the sell. And whatever money you lost on this one, you obviously make easily peasily there. That's usually our way our math works too. It's a 8.5 times right out of 10. So you keep on following the math and it will work in your favor. It's like seek and you shall find. And then there's your buy right there. And then what does it do? It goes up in value. You get a sell right there. It goes down in value. Goes into a buy right somewhere's in here right there with that quiet spot right there. And it goes up in value. And then where's that first sell? You see, all these have to be all on the same side like that. And this is all on the same side like that. In other words, of the side of the zero line. So sometimes you get little blurps, but it still doesn't change the path of being down, 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 down. And then you can see it goes into the sell right here. And it may actually be a loss. You see a loss right there. And then it goes right back into the sell right here. And see how it failed here, but look at the distance of this compared to over in here. It's a winner again. And that's the way it usually works. So there's your intraday, and you can use intraday systems, and they can work. Hey, there's Robin. Hey, Robin. Everything working right over there? Cool. Excellent. So that's the euro. And so from the euro, we will drift over to the British pound. See what the British pound is up to today. We'll put it up on J4X. We'll put the weekly up there first since it's already up. And there's cable. Cable's been in a weekly sell for a few weeks, so there's about at least 3 red bars, if not more, on the Hinky Ashky. Let's see. And we'll put it up over here. there. You see there's a second week a sell, and there's a third week starting now. And you can see 2 days in the buy, and now it's trying to roll over. Now you can see here we were on the 15th of January. Here is the 15th of January. The fast was at 62.6 almost, and the slow was at 60. Is that 57 or 67? I can't tell. Let me look at that a little bit closer. Looks like to me that's, let's see, 63. So it must have been 67. Yeah, so it was 67, and up in here it was at 62. So it went into the sell on the 15th here on the weekly. You see it's breaking down. And that's what we put these indicators together. This is our what we refer to as Doc's Manhattan indicator, and basically developed by a physicist during when they weren't building a nuclear weapon. They chose to play with the stock market. And I can tell you, Mr. What was his name that was running the project at the time? He was head of the institute afterwards. I can't think of his name, but they made a movie of him just recently, and he was not happy that they kept on aiming the computer at the stock market instead of the nuclear weapon that they were trying to build. We'll figure it out. I know that there's a. Let me go to my page on the institute itself, and I know that I'll see his name. See his name, because they keep on going there with movies and stuff like that. And his name was. And when I say it, you'll be like, really? He had to fight with the scientists to stop playing the computer? Stop trading? I thought it was more important to build a nuke. No. We want to, see, I'm going to find his name, and then you'll get a laugh out of it. We'll find it as I'm scrolling through the Institute's website. Sooner or later it'll jump out. But this indicator was put together basically by the scientists, and there it is. Oppenheimer. That's it, Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer would be like, you're doing what with the computer? Get back and run these calculations. We're trying to build a nuclear weapon. And it's like 1942, and they're like, yeah, but the market opened up today. IBM is trading higher today. We need to see what the computer says about IBM, not what you're building. Yeah. So we call that the Manhattan indicator because it was out there at Stony Brook, which is still there to this day. And its great-grandson, I guess you could say, is Renaissance Technologies. Renaissance Technologies, the #1 hedge fund in the world, uses that technology today to trade options. So that's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, that's definitely a wild story. If anybody cares to hear about it, we will talk about it. But most of the time, no one seems to want to ask a question. They I don't know why. They just don't seem to, I guess they like listening to me. If they are listening to me, I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm in a nursing home and this is all fantasy, so anything's possible in my head. But, yes, that's what that indicator was developed by a bunch of physicists to trade the stock market. Okay, so from there, we go over to, let's see, what did we do? There's the cable up on the weekly. Let's put the daily in. Unless someone wants to see something, I mean, I'm willing to do anything. I just have to do something at this point. I got to be able to communicate. I can't say all my opinions without at least showing a chart or two here or there. And so you can see there's 4 weeks of the upwardly slope of the cable. And you can see here the cable's been trapped, just totally trapped, not really getting much grip on anything there, just sideways. You can see we were only 2 weeks in the sell. Now we're starting the third week today. And then from there we got the daily. Oh, that's the daily too. And we did show you the weekly, didn't we? Yes, I'm sure we did. Let's just double check it again. There it is. Yeah, 4. 5 going on a 5th week. The pressure is on. And if anybody would like, we can put the intraday cable up. You just have to ask for it. Just say yes or thumbs up or anything. Put the letter K in there like okay. And if not, we'll just go on to the next product. We'll give everybody a chance to think about it. I'll have a sip of my tea. Yeah, Oppenheimer would say, stop that. Stop running the computer on the stock market. We're trying to figure out exactly how much uranium we need to use to get a action. And they would say, yes, we're sorry, we didn't mean to do that. Remember, Los Alamos was 3 hours behind in time. So as far as they were concerned, they got up. It's 7 o'clock in the morning in the United States. The stock market opens up at 10 o'clock. Oppenheimer's having his meetings around 7 o'clock New Mexico time, which is 10 o'clock. The stock market opens up. They're still sitting there doing nothing. So they've been running, theoreticals overnight. And then they, the stock market opens up live. You got a machine. No one else has a mainframe to play with. And you got something to do. He was like, let's aim it for the first half hour at the stock market, or first hour. And then Oppenheimer would send his data to them out in Long Island, and they would be like, okay, now we got to switch over to from the stock market to building a nuclear weapon. Oh, my goodness. What a hoot. I actually knew one of the physicists that was doing the stock market. All right. So from there, we go to the yen, not the yen, the Swiss franc. Look at that. Swiss is firm. It's not exactly exploding, but it is firm, and it's been staying firm. And they're fighting the inflation battle. They're in there swinging away on that inflation battle, trying to push back some of the inflation that's hit hit the country there. It's they were really flying along. That currency was really zooming, and then out of nowhere, they had to do something. They had to slow it down. I mean, we saw the Swiss trading against the dollar in the 83 area, the low 83 area. That was really fueling more and more inflation, so they had to do something about that. All right, let's get that up on the screen right there. Let's see what the weekly looks like on the Swiss against the dollar. Right there. You see, was that 5 weeks now pressing on the upside? And when we look at it over here, see that same thing. You see this is the fourth week starting there. Obviously the fast jumped off 6 weeks ago, but that's something we usually don't really pay attention to more than just like looking at a yellow light at a traffic light, knowing that it's going to turn red. So it's just an early warning, basically, the fast algorithm versus the green and white is the slow moving algorithm. And then you can see here on a daily basis right there. You see it's, was that 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 7th day in a buy. And let's put the daily up over here. And if anybody would like to see the intraday, just let us know. And we'll just pop it up on there. You'll be able to see what that looks like on an intraday basis. Now, let's see what we'd go for from here. We go over to the yen. Now, Asia, to a great extent, has been closed for the lunar holiday. It's the New Year's. Everything is, markets are quiet. I think one or two markets open up a little bit for a couple hours, but pretty much I think most of them are closed for the whole week, which is like the old days in Europe. I used to like that. I was always like, oh man, Europe is closed for the week and we're still open. It's like, why? But, that was capitalism. That's the way it rolls. So from there, we're looking at the yen up on our screen. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. There it is. There's the yen. That's on a daily basis. It's been lifting up for days. You can see here on this side of the screen, right there, let's move that zero line up to there like that. There it is. Or put dots on the zero line. You're not moving the zero line. You see 3 days in a buy. Not really doing anything particular. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going on 6 weeks in a buy on the weekly. There's lots of pressure there. When the yen goes up, it's losing against the dollar, so it's putting a little pressure on there. They've had some really consistent issues governmentally, and so they've been trying to repair the problems that they've had, and that has put a lot of situations into a checkmate at the moment. Where we have the Japanese stock market is now only 3,000 points away from all-time highs. It went from 39,000 back in the early 90s, actually late 80s. I think it was 89, down to 8,000 or so, 7,000 from 39,000, and now we're back up to a 45-year high. Trading. Let's put it up on the other screen. We can show you on our beta platform, right there. And let's put the Nikkei up there, which is, like I said, is barely trading at all for this week, just like most of the other Asian markets. Right there, and as you can see, it's hanging out in the 37,000 area. Not bad, just a couple thousand points away from an all-time high. And it's it's a 45-year high going on. It's been a long while since it took out the all-time high. All right, and what else we got here? Guess that's about it. You can see how it's been in that weekly buy for a long while, over 10 weeks on our beta. Beta. So that is the yen, and again, it's a quiet Asia. And what we'll do is, we have time, we'll come back and look at all the currency indexes just to get a flavor of what's going on. And then we'll compare them to the European indexes, and then we'll look at the American indexes. But anybody who cares and would like it to see it now, just say something. We'll go there. I don't need to follow the rhythm I'm in. I just do it to be consistent. All right, so from there, we go over to the Great Experiment. It's been closing at all-time closing highs for settlement highs, all-time closes, price-wise, for off and on for weeks now. Putting it up on J4X. Over here, we're going to put it up there on our platform. Let's see, where are you? Right there. You can see the all-time close now. There's 30. What is that? That's 33.12. But the all-time close is 7 days back now, at 33.15. So we're flirting constantly with all-time closes. You can see here the daily is trying to get through the zero line. Weekly is starting to show even more and more pressure. We've been in a weekly buy now, since back in here, and you see it right there, back in mid-September, which was bouncing around the 28s and the 27s and the 29 area bouncing, and we've climbed to an all-time high of the 33s now, right where we were looking for it. And ever since then, we're just kind of paying attention to the action, but not really taking it that we're afraid to think what could happen. We're afraid it's going to go like the way the currency that shall not be named. we hate the idea that this poor currency keeps on finding ways to devalue itself. It doesn't seem to be growing the Turkish economy, but that's the great experiment. They have an idea, and they're going to keep it going until they prove themselves right or wrong, I guess. Right now, going from 1 to 33 is still not proving them wrong, I guess, in their heads. My head, yeah. Their heads, no. But then I don't have to live with it. They do. So there it is. That's the Turkish lira, the great experiment, and just kind of quiet now. At least it's sideways. That's a good sign. You know, that it's not roaring to the moon. From there, we jump over to. We get done looking at the major currencies. And that's what we've done. Now, I have no problem to go look at any currency anybody wants to take a look at. So if you have a desire for something, just let us know and we'll just go click on it. But now what we do is we give the BRICS a chance, you know, and we look at the number one BRIC in the world because, you know, some of those BRICs are pretty pathetic when it comes to a currency. So this is the number one BRIC. Let's see, what does he say? Oh, personal counselor to Mr. Biden. Wow, they say it went off the rails. What's that mean? It's a shabby work of product, he says. Wow, that's all he can say? Shabby. But is it right or wrong? I guess that's the bigger question. We're seeing headlines come up on the screen here. So Mr. Biden's attorney says her report included factual misstatements and pejorative comments about Biden. You know that Mr. Biden didn't know if he was vice president or president on one of the interviews by the Justice Department. He had to ask. He said, "Am I vice president?" And he didn't know what year it was, and you know, there was some really tough stuff. They're firing some stuff out now as we speak here. So the report came out and said that he committed all the crimes, but they're not going to report him because his memory is just so bad. That's so weird. It's all weird over here in the States at this point. It's like it's so hard to figure out what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. All right, so from there, let's go look at the South African rand. That is the number one BRIC in the world, right there. And it's been kind of sloping up, I would say. Yeah, look, it popped for 2 days, and now it's been sideways, and now they're trying to pop it again. But it's not exactly, you know, roaring. And when this is going up, normally, gold is going down. So let's take a peek at what gold looks like this morning. There's platinum. Platinum for the last 3 days has been moving down. And there's 4 days of gold trying to go down. And topping out 7 days ago up in the 2080 area and is now, you know, it's not falling really that dramatic. You know, it's gotten down into the 30s to $20,030 area. And it's you know, the BRIC is telling us that there's pressure on the gold. Now, at the same time, when we go and look at silver, silver looks pretty firm. It's in a daily buy, weekly sell, just like gold. And let's put it up on J4X too. Let's put you know what? Let's put the BRIC up on there. And you can see right there. You know, there's the gold is moving down. And then we put the ZAR up there, and you can see the ZAR is moving up. And that's why they work in opposite directions, basically. So then there's silver. And silver, you can see, is trying to lift up. and doing a fine job at it too. Look at that. Now we talk about silver here, how undervalued the poor thing is. I mean, it's here you have gold trading at like $2,000 plus. Only like 4 or 5% off its all-time high, and silver is trading at $23 and change, and it is almost 60% off its all. It's like 56% off its all-time high. 56 compared to 5%. It's a real scratch your head type of situation. But then I guess that's what it's all about in the end results. People would rather hold on to gold than hold on to silver because of quantity wise and price tag. It's like trading bonds. You can be trading billions, and you're trading stock. You're trading in millions. That's the difference, really. It takes a lot of work to trade $1 billion worth of stock for an individual, and it doesn't take anything for an individual to trade $1 billion worth of bonds. It's easy to do. All right. So from there, we go over to the copper, which is like the gold of China. And you can see that downwardly slope with the country closed. And I'm not really perking it up, and I guess they're waiting for them to open up again, and then maybe it'll, we're in a weekly sell since basically this 39 area, or $3.90 area. And here we are, and it doesn't move. I have to stop myself even and say it's not really moving that much to begin with. You're talking about between the $3.50s, $3.50 to the $4 area. That's a all right. You can say that's a what is that? That's an eighth of action, which is not bad. In other words, it's 12%, but it's still not it's not really taking that big a hit. It is off of, I guess the all-time highs are in close to $6 or $5.50, something like that, in copper. And let's see what we can find on J4X here. Let's put copper up on there and take a look at what they reflect as the all-time high, or one of the highest highs. Copper right there is. There it is right there. You can see the $5 area. And so it's pretty much the $5 area. And we're playing about we're at the $3.50 area. So you're looking at basically a third, a loss of value. All right, now from copper, we're going to go over to, we can't see it on J4X. We're going to show you platinum. The metal that seems to have been left behind out of this whole situation. There it is right there. It looks a little firm here today, but it is definitely down. And it has had that downwardly slope for 3 days, that's for sure. And overall, over the last 2 weeks, it's lower than where it was then. And you can see we've been in the weekly sell now for, this is 4 full weeks, 5 full weeks right there. That's 5 full weeks. Is that 5? No, that's 4. Yes, that's 5 full weeks. Going on a 6th week now of pressure. Monday morning quietness. No one seems to have a question. Okay. All right. I'm finishing my little sip of tea there. And let's go on to the next thing. Let's go check out energies. So here we go. There's crude oil. See that right there? It's down a little bit today. It's in a daily buy. It went into the weekly buy last week, and now it's rolling right over again. Let's show you that on the screen. Right there. Going right back after that weekly. Interesting. Let's take a look at it over here. There it is right there. There it is right there. Right there. You see the pressure on that. The fast is 55, the slow is at 61, so it's getting into the sell. We're just waiting now for the Hinky-Ashky to turn to match up on that weekly and be like what we are right there. Now let's take a look at it on our beta. Beta. And there it is right there. You see that? It's trying to move down again too. This is the March contract. And 4 days in a buy, same as up above us. Right here. Right there, 4 days in a buy. Let's see what it looks like right there. There it is right there. And you got 4 days in a buy. We're not checking the slow and fast. It could be 3, it could be 4. Either way, it's fine. You can see the hinkies are turning up. And then let's go back to the beta again right there. And then we'll take a look at the weekly. There's the weekly, just being in a weekly buy for a long while now. And trying to press into the sell. So let's take a look at Brent. See what Brent is doing. There's Brent there. There's your daily. It's been lifting for 4 days. And we have it here. BZ. And why is it not? There we go. There's Brent. See the 4 days. See it's been in a weekly buy for a while. Not letting go. You can see it's stalling out a little bit when it comes to the actual price tag. Then from there we go over to natural gas. Let's put natural gas up in there. NG, natural gas, right there. There's the natural gas trading at $1.8041. Woo, doggy! They're smackadoodling that puppy down, aren't they? And let's take a look at the nat gas over here. That could be the front month. I don't know. Let's see what Mars shows. That's going to be interesting. I know we've been watching the March contract. Yes, yeah, same thing. They've been smacking that thing down. Look at that action there. Down. $1.80. I'm sure Europe is happy about that. You can see daily sell for a while. Weekly sell for 3 weeks. Lots of good pressure. All right, now from there, we go to, let's see this. We go to the last spot of looking at energy in Europe. We go over to this energy company in Spain. We take a look at that. That gives us a flavor. Last we saw, the stock was trading, it's a stock price, and the stock itself was trading in the under 24, I believe, or right around 24. Maybe they were challenging the 23. I think that's it right there. Yeah, 23.75 now. This has come down from 28. You can see it right there. From the 28s right there. And so they're really putting some pressure onto the energy sector there in Europa, which is good. Oh, there we go. We got somebody. We got a fish on the line. Hey, please, a technical question about Forex. Sure, ask away. I can't find my historical activities trade. Oh, you mean like the platform on J4X? Let's see. Historic. You mean time and sale? We call that, I think, time and sales, right? So we go over to, let's see if we can find time and sales. There's some trades on this one somewhere. Let's see if we can find time and sales. I think it would probably be smarter to go ask Dukascopy. Let me see see if I can find where to go to Dukascopy. Janos probably would know. Let me ask Janos. Let him know someone's looking for time and sales. Let's see. And I think that's what we refer to it as time and sales. Let's see. Is that it? There it is right there. I'm trying to actually text somebody inside J4 Dukascopy to find out for you. Let's ask them that question. Cancel, cancel, and cancel. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I can't find why it's not coming up. Yeah, I don't see it. We're not getting any chat line. Enter the password for Apple. Nope, not getting it. I'm sorry about that. I would say contact. Let's see if we can find somewhere else for you to go to. Let's see, Dukascopy. All right, go over to dukascopy.com and then go to your broker and ask for, let's see, you can probably get advice on how to get your time and sales. Does that make any sense to you? Because I think that's what you're really looking for is time and sales. All right, what else do we got here? From there, and if for some reason I'm not getting the Dukascopy Skype, let me just contact them through Facebook. Facebook will get me there too. There it is right there. Time and sales. Question. In webinar. There we are. There we go. All right. At least now you got somebody else asking questions for you too. This way they can get to you, and we'll see if we can tell you where to go contact them. All right. From there, we're going to go over to, let's see, where were we at? We were looking at March crude. We were looking at, let's look on our beta platform, that stock that represents natural gas in Europe. Now you can see here it's trying to bounce up a little bit compared to Friday. Look at that right there. See it bouncing up a little bit, trying to even push into the daily buy. Interesting. It's been an interesting slide. All of a sudden we're getting a little bottoming. I mean, look at this. We've been pretty much in a sell since the mid 27 area, and now we've gotten down to the 20, almost touched 23. Really pressured itself. They really pressured it down. So, alrighty. So from there, we move over to, we've done the energies, we've done the metals. We'll go take a look at some of the stock markets in the world, and we'll use the beta for that, because that's neat, because we can see all of them. So let's take a look at Europe, since we know Europe is really moving along like the United States is right now. And there is the DAX, and the DAX has been sideways, up and down, but just sideways channel trading. You can see it's been a daily sell. We are in a weekly buy for 2 weeks now. See how long that lasts. It was in a weekly sell for a while, throughout all this slide, and then when it started to go into the weekly buy in here, right with this action on the upside there. So from there we go over to the CAC 40. See what the CAC 40 is doing right there. spill. There it is. And there's the Kakaran. It's been climbing and looking firm for the last few days. You can see it's in daily buys. You see here it's in a weekly buy for 2 weeks after it being in that sell for all this action going on the downside. Then from there we go over to the FTSE. There's the FTSE. 3 days in a sell. And you can see the pressure's been on the FTSE a little bit surprisingly more. I mean, that has been a good leader for a couple of years now. We'll see if that means something like we're getting to a top. And we did get I got an interesting warning signal over the weekend in my math on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So maybe we're going to start to see some weakness. I kind of doubt it, but yeah, because the money is desperate and they need to invest. So hard to believe there's going to be much selling, but we'll see. If we get into sells, then we're going to be a bear. But when we go over to right there, the S&P 500, there's the S&P 500. We've been in a weekly buy in that thing for 7-8 weeks. I mean, it's like out of the total, when we go over to the platform, it's like 15 or 16 weeks in a weekly buy. And even this one right here, you can see it's fooling around, bridged a little bit. But this thing has been climbing and climbing and climbing from the 4,700 area in a weekly buy, and we're over 5,000 now. And the daily has been the same way. It's been running very steadily on the upside. So it's very hard for them to put pressure on this stock market. There just isn't much. There's not many sellers. At times there's no buy. Here we go. On platform left upper corner, you have reports, open position report, and you can see your open and closed positions. You're choosing time period. There you go. Thank you very much. So, Jimmy, thank you very much for answering AMBX. So, what else do we got? We have NASDAQ 100, and you know what I should do? Let's do this. This is the Tech 100. Let's show you. It's very firm. You can see it's been in a weekly buy too for 7 weeks, and it's being very strong, and it's pushing up in the daily, and it's not letting go. Now check this out on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's see if the beta platform is picking it up. You see there's flirting with a sell today, and it's still in the weekly. Let's see. Now let's show you how it looks on our platform, our normal platform that we send charts out on. Let's find it. And, well, here, you know what? Let me just show you what we sent it on. Boom, boom, boom. Go like this. Where's it at? We'll minimize this for a second. And we'll open this up. And right there. And you can see it here. It pushed into the sell on Friday. And the weekly hasn't broken yet. Now let's take a look at it live as we speak and see what they're doing with it. So we'll go up to here, turn this on, and then we'll go take a look at. No. I don't want to copy anything. What the hell did I do there? We want to go like this. We want to go down to here, attach. That's it. There we are. And we go and look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And last I saw it's in a sell for a second day. The weekly is not breaking down as much, though. You can see the weekly is holding up. It's not really letting go. All right, traders, we're out of here. That was a lot of fun. I'm just telling you what I see. And usually what I see is usually like almost 9 out of 10 times right. So that's where we are. So this is Doc. We'll catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel at here at Dukascopy's webinar. And happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow, Tuesday. Happy trails to you. To all our trading friends, thank you, traders. Have a nice and smart trading day.